So, to everyone online, including my friend Ladybug Princess, I've been saying that this is one of the best episodes in all of Miraculous. Yeah, you're right. We're finally done with the blatant mediocrity, at least for now, because this is a phenomenal episode in every single way, shape, and form. Oblivio is a strong contender for the best of the season. Is it better than Reflect All? Is a really hard question. They're on the same level. But I don't think I can say it's quite better. Maybe it's because I love Lady Noir too much, I don't know. But point is, this is still a phenomenal episode and easily among the best of the season. And after the two painfully mediocre things we had to go through previously, this was a much-needed breath of fresh air. So, let's break it down step by step. What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Everybody? Welcome back to Animation. Is everything and everything animation, including two superheroes that fight for crime on the other side of the world. Well, that fight crime on the other side of the world. That was close. Sorry, I haven't done that part in a while. And welcome to my review of Season 3, Episode 10 of Miraculous Ladybug, Oblivio. In this episode, Ladybug and Cat Noir lose their memory. Will they be able to defeat Oblivio so that the villain becomes just another bad memory? So, this episode is very, very different from every other episode up to this point. Because most of this episode is not Ladybug and Cat Noir. Most of this episode, it's Marinette and Adrian. And even more interesting, it's them without their memories. Like, we literally opened the episode with the two in an elevator being unable to remember who they are, and they immediately, in mere seconds, transform back. And most people are like, wait a second? They transform back, they're going to find out each other's identities. But no, because they don't have any memory of anything. Heck, they don't even remember their own kwamis. It's not really that big a deal. Not to mention, as Master Fu says later in the episode, the Ladybugs will fix everything later and set everything back to the way it was. So, it's not that big of a thing. But this is pretty much what I like to call the Adrianette episode, because this is the episode where they try to piece back together their memory through everything that they have on them, like their cell phones and things they have laying around, and slowly starting to maybe try to remember who they really are. And in the meantime, the Kwamis are also amnesic, and they don't have their memories either, so most of the time they're just tagging along trying to figure out who they are as well. And in the middle of it, Plag leaves after Tiki insults him. Like, that's so in character, it's hilarious. So they try calling their parents, and they're just going through their phone contacts trying to remember who their parents are. Adrian thinks it's Gabriel, which, I mean, he's right, but Gabriel doesn't answer his phone because, I mean, he's Hawkmoth at the moment, so of course he's not going to answer. But of course Adrian doesn't know that, so it's a whole complicated thing. And then Marinette calls her mom and tries to figure out what happened there, and the mom tells her about how Ladybug and Cat Noir have tracked this villain down to this tower that they are currently stuck in, and that they're trying to defeat this villain. Which means that, just like that, she figures out that they are superheroes, but they're the ones being chased after by this villain. And what's more interesting about Oblivio himself is that it's not until later on in the episode we actually see what he looks like. Up to this point, he's treated kind of like a horror villain. You have, like, the killer POV with the purple hue, and you have, like, the explosions that signal that he's coming, but it's not until about, I want to say, halfway through the episode we actually see his design. Or their design, because it turns out it's two people akumatized together. But it's a strange design. I will say that. It's mainly just a giant purple silhouette with a weird purple Mega Man cannon. Like, that's pretty much what it is. But, I mean, still cool. And I do like the horror take this episode goes for. Like, if you saw my episode of review of Zombazoo, then you would know that anytime there's a horror influence in Miraculous, I'm immediately going to be invested. And this is definitely one of the best I've seen in Miraculous in terms of actual horror-themed episodes, while also being, well, freaking adorable, because while they're trying to recollect their memories, they also wrongly think that the two of them are a couple. Yeah, I'm convinced this episode was made just to torture the Adrianette fans. In other words, me. But seeing them actually act like a couple despite not having their memories is super freaking cute. And some other big things happen I'm gonna get into later, but Marinette realizes after this villain tries to flush him out by threatening to wipe the memory of every single person in Paris with this giant, I believe they call it just a giant bubble, doesn't really have a name. And then Marinette remembers this turtle poster note that she put on the elevator right before she lost her memory and detransformed. So she goes to the turtle thing on her phone, which is Master Fu, and Master Fu tells them how to, transform the superheroes. So they do that, but they do have to use their superhero phones to actually get reminded of how their powers work. And one funny part of the episode is when Ladybug is reading off the user's guide in her little bug book, I think they called it, like bug phone, whatever. And she says the word Lucky Charm out loud, and it accidentally summons a teapot. Like, that's hilarious. And then, well, obviously, Marinette transforms into Ladybug first because Plague is still run off who knows where after being insulted by Tiki. So, Marinette, in this case trying to be a supportive, caring girlfriend, kisses Adrian and tells him to stay behind and that she will protect him. Yes, technically giving us our first official kiss between these two, even though it is very, very brief, but... You have no idea how long I've been waiting for that to happen. Even longer than I was waiting for Charlie and Vaggie to kiss in Hazbin Hotel, but I digress. So she goes off to fight the villain, and it's starting to look kind of similar when she's spinning her yo-yo around trying to deflect blasts, and they're towards that same elevator shaft from earlier. And then Adrian makes a fake Cat Noir costume out of cardboard to try and distract the villain, which thankfully gives Plague enough time to come back to Adrian and allows him to turn to the actual Cat Noir. And again, really, really interesting. But one thing about this episode that did kind of bug me a bit, yeah, I know, pardon the pun, it did bug me a little, is that Adrian, to make this costume, they show him using that same puzzle vision as Marinette's. Which I don't get because I don't remember Cat Noir ever having that power. Like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that just seems a bit contrived. But it's, at that point, it's just a minor nitpick, dude. It's not really that big a deal. But it was just something weird I found while I was watching the episode. I'm like, wait, what? Since when did he have puzzle vision? And yes, I'm calling it puzzle vision because it's easier to remember. Buzz off. So, the two of them together managed to defeat the villain. And then it's revealed that Oblivio was Alia and Nino, which leaves us wondering, well, what made them get akumatized in the first place, which they'll explain at the end of the episode. And right when Ladybug is about to throw up her Lucky Charm and let the Ladybugs fix everything, Cat Noir stops them and, well, stops her and reminds her that they're not going to remember any of this, which means they're not going to remember that they are a couple. So, in this one last little moment, the two of them share a passionate, true, very loving kiss on the roof. And that one is to send the Lady Noir fans crazy. But it is a very sweet, very adorable moment. And sadly, it doesn't really have too much relevance because they get their memory back and they lose that coupleship. But for this one episode, they do act like a couple, and it is absolutely adorable to watch them actually act like they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Which, I mean, they drag this will they won't they thing out so long, it's ridiculous. But point is, this episode is pretty much what if they were an actual couple, and what if they knew their own secret identities and fought alongside one another, knowing who they really are and knowing that they truly love each other. It is a cute moment, it is a beautiful moment, and it is an absolutely adorable way to end this episode. And then, once the kiss finishes and the ladybugs fix everything, then they're both obviously left in guilt. Marinette more than Adrian. Adrian realizing that Ladybug truly does love him. And Marinette freaking out that she kissed Cat Noir and not Adrian. Again, not knowing that they're the same person. Like, it's so freaking cute, and it also ends on a funny note. And as for how Ollie and Nino got akumatized, they snuck off to play a game together on Ollie's little tablet. And then they got caught by Miss Bougier, and Chloe and a couple other students made fun of them, and that got them akumatized into Oblivio. So, yeah. That's pretty much the episode. Oh, and I almost forgot, right after they kiss, as she's throwing up the thing to forget their memories, they hug each other romantically. I love these two as a couple. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I love this episode so much. But yeah, that's Oblivio. It is an absolutely phenomenal, amazing episode of Miraculous that hints at possible, bigger, more adorable things to possibly happen in the future. Like I said, I am watching through this season for the first time, so I don't know what's going to happen. Nor have I seen Season 4 or Season 5. So, please forgive me if I end up getting anything wrong in the future. But, point is, this is undeniably one of the best episodes in all of Miraculous Ladybug. And it is the second episode of the season that I would consider downright perfect. Yes, the little puzzle vision thing with Adrian does leave me a bit confused, but that's literally the only bad part of the episode. Outside of that, it is an incredible episode that switches up the format dramatically from your normal Miraculous episode, and ends with some of the cutest moments in the entire season. I don't know what else to say. I absolutely adore this one, and everyone online, including Ladybug Princess, who told me all about how this episode is so amazing. Yeah, you were right. This episode is amazing. It's one of the best in all of Miraculous, and easily one of the best of the season. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking for so long. Not to mention the great writing, awesome villain, and incredible horror template they go with for the plot. I don't know what else to say aside from the fact that this episode is an easy, undeniable 10 out of 10. Easy, undeniable 10 out of 10. Like I said, I don't know whether or not I can say it's better than Reflect All, but it is definitely up there in the same category. And that makes it the second 10 out of 10 of the season. Will there be more? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, that's going to do it for this episode review of Miraculous Ladybug. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned because we still have a long way to go with this season, as we still have 14 more reviews to do before we say goodbye to this show for another year. So, I'll see you guys next time when we talk about Desperada. Until then, if you don't... Well, sorry. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you don't mind now, I'm gonna go and watch that kiss again on YouTube. Call me obsessed, I don't know. But until then, I'll see you next time for Desperada. Later.